good, YouTube? Dorsey May Gaming here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the next UFC game that's supposed to be coming out. As we're well aware, they are going to do another UFC, but it's looking like it's going to be next year. It's definitely not going to be this year. But article on ING was saying that they're looking for it to come out potentially early in 2018. Now, my thing is this: is UFC, the video game, going the route of Fight Night with boxing? Because it's not really hyped about. We didn't hear anything about it at EA Play. And so I'm wondering, is the sport itself, or not so much the sport itself, but is the sport dying out? Is the game UFC dying out? First of all, is the game fun? UFC, it was fun. I liked UFC. I loved Fight Night. My only downside to both of those games, and the reason why I think that they don't last or don't do as well as some people would hope, is because it's just not long enough. And it's not the game's fault. It's not UFC or boxing's fault. If you look at it, you can't fight for 10, 15 years. I mean, you could essentially, but it's tough. Fighters don't last as long as, say, NFL career, where somebody like Peyton Manning might play 15 years or something like that. While they may last years in boxing, how many fights are they having within that time frame? You see what I'm saying? As opposed to a NFL player playing 10 years in the league, you playing 15 games a year. That's 150 games in your career or something to that effect. So it's and not counting playoffs and stuff, but you get what I'm saying. Fighters aren't. You're not going to see guys, with 150 wins under their belt. I mean, in the professional level, because they don't fight that much. So I feel like EA or anybody that's trying to do a boxing game or a UFC type of game, they're at a crossroad, because if you play it like it's really supposed to play out, no, you're not going to have this tremendously long record. So you saw UFC kind of throw in the Ultimate Fighter Championship stuff, try to throw in some story element to it to make it kind of to stretch out the career. Now, UFC 2 was fun. I'm not gonna lie. When it came out, it was fun. It was a breath of fresh air from the first UFC that EA made. The previous year's game, game in the franchise. In that the ground and pound was a lot more user friendly. Like somebody like me, I guess if I devoted time to it, I could have been a lot better at it in the first UFC, but I didn't. And I was excited when UFC 2 came out because it made the ground game a lot easier, and thus it was more immersive for me. However, the story, like part one, while it was a little bit better with the Ultimate Fighting Championship thing, it was still lacking because it just wasn't enough. I'm the type person, I would like to have a free, open world type thing where I could go to the gym and actually, sit there and box, train like that, lift weights, run, do something of that effect, spar, without having to actually go to and play like a mini game for points, But I digress. What's kind of interesting to me, y'all, is this. I wonder, has the Madden curse transitioned over to UFC? Because y'all picture, I'm gonna put the picture up right quick. So check out this picture, man, and yeah. Check out this picture. Who do you see on this picture, man? You see Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor, both of whom took L's. I'm not gonna say that Conor's really wasn't as bad. Ronda's was a complete and total upset, but both of them took some L's that's gonna stick with their career, or whatever's left of them. So, like with Conor, people are giving him basically a participation award, but the guy talked a lot of trash, and he said he was going to do a lot of things that he just didn't do. Similar to Ronda Rousey, talking trash and didn't live up to the hype. Not saying that he's not good, not saying that she's not good, but at the end of the day, they both took L's, and it's just kind of awkward to me how both of them just happen to be on the cover of UFC too. So my thing is, who's going to be on the next cover? Who's going to be on UFC Part 3? And if they are on the cover, is that whole video game cover curse going to carry over? I hope not. I mean, good thing for Rousey and McGregor. I mean, they're not hurt or anything. You know, Rousey did go through some psychological things, but I think that she's better. And McGregor, to be honest with you, I think the whole fight between him and Mayweather was just money, business, publicity, you know, for the UFC, for boxing, for Floyd. Like I would not be surprised if it came out that it was orchestrated, like that it was planned, that it was rigged. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everybody got something out of it. And especially looking at the end of the fight, Floyd, I was like, it looked like he was just toying with him. Like, why didn't you just go ahead and get a haymaker and lay him out? You know, I don't think that was ever the intention to hurt him or do anything like that. I think everything was planned down to the T, even with the refs. But I digress. Regardless, these two individuals are on the cover, and both of them, like I said, took some pretty big L's in their career. So I don't know. I wonder, man. But then too, I wonder would UFC 3 eventually even come out? Because like I said, it's planned on coming out next year. But I don't know. I mean, with the popularity that McGregor's gotten, would he be on the cover? Or, you know, we know Rousey wouldn't be on the cover, but could McGregor grace the cover again? Could EA go and do a overall fighting game that allows you to either take the route of a boxer or take the route of the UFC? Or if it is the UFC, could you transition into boxing? Are they going to do anything like that? You know, because there is a pretty growing debate in which one is better, MMA or boxing. You know, people said Floyd couldn't last a round in the octagon. Well, people said the same thing about McGregor, and he lasted 10 rounds. You know, so who knows? You know, nobody really knows. And one thing is, we'll never get to find out because he's never going to do it. You know, but you do have. I can't remember who it was. It was recent here this week. A guy was talking about. I think he was wanting to go from boxing to MMA, to the UFC to fight. And so I think what McGregor has done is opened the door for those types of things to happen. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, we've seen players go from baseball to basketball, basketball to football, football to basketball, football to baseball. But you've never seen like the MMA, UFC kind of switch up type of thing in a way. So, but I wonder what would they put in the game, you know, and if they are going to do something similar to the Journey or something similar to Long Shot. Are they going to, you know, or the One, you know, with the new UFC game, are they going to implement this story mode? Because remember in Fight Night Champion, there was an actual story mode. And while, you know, everybody would have liked to have their own character, you still kind of got captivated in this story mode. You know, everybody thought the Journey and all that kind of stuff was new. No, it started with Fight Night Champion with that story mode right there. But I digress. I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, if they put it out, is it going to be enough to sell? You know, is the UFC still popular enough for them to put that game out and for people to buy it? Me personally, I would buy it. I'm not gonna lie. I would buy boxing. I would buy UFC. It's just something about getting a video game and knocking people out. Because when the UFC game first came out, you know, you had the health status bar and that kind of stuff. And in UFC 2, it was a lot more realistic. I mean, 30 seconds. Same thing with the last boxing game, like Fight Night Champion that they came out with. EA did away with the health bar, and it was one of those things where if you catch them with the right punch at the right time in the right place, lights out. Same thing in the UFC, and that was awesome because I was, you know, I'd get in fights and just try to see how fast I can knock somebody out. Man, I would definitely be on par to get another UFC game if they so chose to come out with one. And that's why I'm exploring this. I would love to see some kind of story. Only thing that I would say as far as the story is, let us create our character, man. I don't want to play as somebody else. I want to play through a story mode with me. You see what I'm saying? And then as far as training, I would like more actual hands-on training, not so much a mini game. UFC 2 did pretty well with that, but it didn't feel like a free-form type of thing. It was orchestrated. It was still one of those things where it's just a mini game. That's essentially what it is, you know. I would like something a little bit more free, you know, not not too much different from what they had. I like being able to get in there and spar and stuff like that, but I would like to, choose to get in there and just go at the heavy bag, or go at the speed bag, or go at the weights, and same thing, keep the ground and pound stuff in there, keep the sparring in there and stuff like that. Just a little bit more freedom in there. Some endorsement deals, things like that, So that's what I would like to see in the next UFC game. And I mean, I don't know. EA, what you gonna do? I mean, are they gonna put one out? If they do, are they gonna do these things? Are we gonna see a story mode? Because it's a very real possibility that we could potentially, see a story mode in a sense in UFC 3. But all in all, y'all, I don't know, man. We just have to. I'm keeping my ear to the ground, man, and trying to, find out what's going on with this fight. As far as Fight Night coming back, I mean, I think we got a better chance of of NCAA coming back from EA Sports than we do with the boxing game, because I mean, I love boxing, but it's one of those things where it's just not as a popular sport as it used to be. However, with the whole Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight, a lot of people are looking to Berto and GGG. They're looking to. It seemed like it's still hanging on by a strand, but not enough to merit a video game by a big time publisher. Maybe if a smaller developer did it. 2K. I mean, I would beat 2K, man. That would probably be nice. I mean, there is a group of people that can make a good profit for a developer and a publisher. It's just there. It's untapped. Somebody needs to put out a boxing game, Somebody, EA can put out UFC 3, that's fine. But I mean, get some boxing in there too, man. People miss getting in there on the boxing games. I myself really do, y'all. But all in all, that's all I got for right now, man. I'll probably do another video later today. But I got some stuff I got to get done, y'all. So till next time, y'all, and God bless.